Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with Scrap Backwards, and today's page I'm going to kind of show you the scrap backwards process. It's kind of expanded and changed and been modified from the start with the sticker sheet and go from there that Adam and I started out with, but it still kind of follows the principle of starting with something other than your photo and then building something of a page kit. You could kind of consider it that. And then finding your photo and kind of then maybe choosing some other things and go with it. So I'm going to actually kind of show you how I worked with this page. As you can see, I kind of started to do something. I actually started the video and I decided to turn it off because I wanted to go back into some more detail. I've had a few questions lately. People may be looking for new challenges that they want to try in the new year, and they're asking questions about our little idea called Scrap Backwards. So I thought I'd explain it. So I started out with this sheet of paper, and I actually intended to use it on this side. And when I did my kit reveal, I kind of talked about liking the layers of textiles here and the glitter and the newspaper here. And I do love this side, but this side kind of appealed to me because of the textural raised bits. It looks like a decoupaged tone on tone kind of texture with the rainbow and the word magic and the word play and some crayon scribbles around and about. And I thought what I liked about the last page I did with this AB Studio paper was to use contrasting colors. So I thought, okay, it appears to me that orange might be a good contrast color here. So I just started kind of pulling things that had orange in them. And the first thing I pulled was these two flower packs. And there's some orange flowers here and orange leaves and the orange flower there. And then the next thing I saw that I thought I might want to use would be I have these two leaves. I think this is all that's left from the ephemera pack from Print Shop by Vicki Booten that came in a Mind the Scrap kit. And so I thought maybe I could use that, and that's not orange, it's pink. So I thought maybe I'd add in one of the pinks here to kind of repeat that color. So then on the orange lines, I had these two hearts that kind of they remind me of the dimensional stuff there. These are 3D printed hearts from JD 3D Prints that are available exclusively from Hey Little Magpie. And it's Sarah's son who makes these. And these are from a set that Adam sent me as part of the stash gift that he sent, or they came with with something I ordered from the Flare Hut. Can't really remember. It all came in the same box. And so I thought these would work somewhere on there. And I pulled these Mango Tango sequins, thinking those might also work. And to get more on the yellow side, I thought, but with a little orange, tint to it, and it kind of goes with some of the rusty looking colors down here. I have these jewels that have some pearls and some bling there, or bling that has pearls and jewels. I have these three flare. This one has script on it. These have dots, and this is kind of a cloud-like texture. For neutrals, I have these, which might kind of ground some of the bright colors. I pulled from that ephemera pack that Adam sent that had oranges and yellows. I pulled these arrows, and I have this washi tape, which kind of, since we have the words magic and play, I thought this has lovely and dream and favorite and smile and happy and enjoy. So I thought that might work. So given that, I then went into my box of photos. You've seen this box. This is a side project. It doesn't have anything to do with Scrap Backwards, but I'm tackling 12 of these boxes, one per month, of 70 years worth of printed photos. And so I went in, given what I had selected here, I went looking through the photos, and kind of right up front was this collection of photos of some Sugar Bear and Freddie, the cats that James and I had when he was a little tiny kid. This has to be in about 1978 or 79, somewhere in there. So it was in the, there's a section in here called Miscellaneous 80s Pre-John or something like that. And they are, let's see, what does that say? Or 1980 Before John. And these are not, were not taken in 1980. They're older than that, I think. So what I did, I have yet to come up with a one-size-fits-all process for this project, or like workflow. So what I did was I took all the photos of the cats, I scanned them all. I just laid them on my scanner bed, as many as would fit, and then I got them into my photo library. I caught, when it's scanned, of course it scanned like 6 photos on one page. I made 5 copies, so I had 6 total. I went back and scanned and got them all down to in fact, I was able to crop them square. And I didn't know, I'm not going to scrap them all, but to be honest, I don't know what I am going to do as far as the ones I don't scrap. So I'm leaving that question open. So out of those, I chose these 2, and I filtered them heavily, actually, to bring out, the couch already did have a lot of orange in it. The photos are very, as you can see, kind of, well, let me get these 2 originals. Where's the one of Red Fred? Their names are Sugar Bear and Red Fred, and we called Fred Freddie. So Sugar Bear and Freddie. These are the originals, and these are the filtered photos. They're not very sharp. The originals are not very sharp, and this kind of it sort of cartoonizes them, makes them a little bit more fun. And if I put them this way, it kind of looks like Sugar Bear, who was the by far more reserved of the cats. It looks like she's looking at Freddie and just going, yeah, sure, show off. And he's just there yawning. So he's at one end of the couch and she's at the other. And they were taken, I remember taking these pictures. They were taken with Sugar Bear scrunched up over here in this corner and Freddie over in the other corner. So anyway, and there's a story that I need to tell about the couch and all kinds of things. There's a lot of history in these photos that has never been scrapped, stories that have never been told, and I wouldn't have thought of them if I hadn't come across these photos. So I'm going to take this box off the table, put it aside, and after I picked the photos, I then went through my kit and pulled some other things that I thought might go. Like, for instance, the pattern on these chipboard flowers, and I have no idea where those came from. It might have been some packaging or something, but that looks an awful lot like, or at least it's compatible with, the Wild and Crazy print that's on the couch. So that definitely makes the cut. And then the closest thing to a cat I had in my kit was a lion, this lion. And I went to my flare and I found this kitty cat flare, one of my oldest flare. And then this one is one I just got from Adam. It's an epoxy flare that says happiness has paws. And then I've got this word awesome, and I thought I'd find a P somewhere in my supplies, in my alphas. Let me see if I can find a P that would work. I was thinking, see, these letters there's orange in them, but the P's are all just pink. But I'm going to take one anyway, because we're working some of that pink into there. And I'm going to take the pink that is pale pink and white. And let me see if there's an exclamation point that has any orange in it. There's one right here where the dot is orange. So why don't I take that too? Let's see, I'm gonna put this just there so that I don't lose it. And where's the, okay, I didn't cut it all the way up. That's okay. And now I'll go here and I'll pull this out and this out. So I have my title. And I'm going to kind of put that over there. And also in the kit was this, and I've got this orange flag that says BFFs. And I thought that would be cute. And I might be able to use this circle that has the pink stripes if I want to. So I'm just going to keep this on my table. So now to design the page. That may be hard. Oh, and I also found this ampersand, and I love using ampersands when there are two, or a group of people, when there's more than one person in the photograph or photographs of more than one person. So I thought maybe I would I want to leave the word play and the word magic. I'm okay embellishing kind of around here and around here. So I'm going to leave that. Okay, I'm not sure what that's all about. Why she keeps wanting to talk to me or keeps thinking I'm talking to her. Oops, no staples in there. So we're not going to use the old stapling trick. I will instead use some liquid glue to hold those guys together. And I'm going to then go across with this. And I think I'm going to put some foam so I can tuck things behind. But I know that the foam doesn't stick very well to that particular tape, so I'm going to do this, and then I'll do some more on here. Okay, so let's do that so that magic and play are still visible. Okay, some of the largest things I'm going to be using are the flowers and these tags. let me pull, I'm gonna save these flowers. These flowers have glitter on the edges, and I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of glitter for this particular page. And I just got a text from James saying that something had been delivered. I'm going to put this right here, and maybe I'll use these leaves. There for it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this on a foam dot, and then I can build up some other things around it. And the new noises that you're hearing are coming from the iPad that James gave me for Christmas. It's an iPad mini, and I'm going to use it to show the sketch or the scrap lift that I'm doing when I do things like that, so that I don't have to print, and so I save some printer ink. And let's see, I want that to go there, and this can go here, and it'll kind of overlap that photo. I kind of want, let me quickly answer him. So that I can okay, so that I can stop it from making the noise. I'm going to put these guys here. So that I can, there'll be a nice backdrop for some colorful things like this heart. And I'm trying to decide if I want the heart. I'm going to put this away, and I'm actually going to pull a pink one out. Maybe using it instead, since I don't have leaves, I might mount it on here. I could do that. See, there's a lot of stuff I can cover up there. So I'm going to do this. Let me go ahead and get that. And I'll decide whether I want to use those two hearts together, or let me pull this foam off. I don't need it on there. That's probably the first time you'll ever see me pulling foam off of something. I'm a huge user of foam. Okay, there. And then I can probably use one of these flare to kind of fill that in, like right there. Okay, and maybe I put the heart right up here, kind of partially behind the flower. And then I use this with a little bit of foam to kind of raise it up and do that. There we go. And then the other heart can go down here just on top of that print. Let's see. And I just love how the contrast is working. Again, that's something that I'm really happy with. I've got, let's see, let me put, I'm going to pick the word together off of the washi tape. And I'll put those on there so that I can pull from them. And I'm just going to kind of put it there and at an angle that's different from that angle. Now, what other words might I want to use, and where would I put them? I like this lovely, which could kind of go right there. And then we've got let's see, there's smile and happy. And those are some happy cats. There are some cat stories that probably ought to be told too. I'm going to kind of stick that just kind of coming out right there. I've got this guy, which I think I'm not going to use. I've got this flare, which I am going to use. As I look at this, I'm of course going to continue to embellish the cluster right up close. Oops, that's not staying glued down. Let me get that back because it's going to provide me with my placement information for this. There. And maybe what I'll do is I'll glue it onto the flare. That seemed to work there. And I like the dimension that will add. Okay, so that's on there. That little bit of glue is not going to show when it dries. I've got the ampersand that I would like to use. I'm going to throw the trash, but I'm not quite sure where I will use it. Let me put away the washi tape, and I'll put away the lion. Got the ampersand, maybe, like I said, I really want it to be part of the cluster that's there. Let's do the title, and then we'll figure out where the other things can go. I've got the word play that I don't want to cover up, the word magic that I don't want to cover up. So maybe I'll put it down here, and I'm going to put it on foam, the foam strip, to raise it up right there. And then I'll pull out I want to make it obvious that I added the P, you know, so I don't put it down on the page. I'm going to kind of cross it over and do it that way so you can see that it once said awesome and now says Pawesome. And get that glue off. Let me put a little bit of glue here. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and just put a dot right there. And put this, is it more trouble than it's worth? There we go. Okay, and I've got the kitty cat flare, which I think now I can do here, and then I'm going to use one of these arrows, these swirly arrows, to point to it. And let me see if my if this strip is thin enough to work back here. I think it will be. I'll just put it in a couple places to give it the hold it needs. There we go. And this yellow, because the orange tape, it actually has some yellow, I might want to just kind of layer over here with this other flare. And I'm going to put, instead of putting it on foam, I just threw a piece of foam strip across the table. Instead of putting it on foam, I'm going to tuck it under and just put a little glue on the edges. So that can go there. I've got some arrows that, again, I'm going to use this foam on. I'll do I meant to cut that in half, and I put the whole thing on, and it's now nice and stuck. So let me get that on there, and I've handled it. That's the something that I need to remember. I've handled it so much that the stickiness is compromised. So I'm going to go back and get another strip, cut small pieces, and I really like that. I'm not going to go out and order a bunch more of that paper, but I do think I'm going to enjoy creating with it, with this kit. So I'm going to put this here, and then this one I thought maybe I'd put down at page level. And yes, it's because I really don't want to do any more of the foam strips that small. Okay, and I have another arrow that I will use a foam strip on. This is just adding color and texture, and I'm not sure how or if I want to use this twine. I think I may skip the twine, tack it in there. I don't think I need this arrow, and I don't think I need that star. So now I'm going to add a couple fairly small jewels. There are 3 this size, so I'll just use them in that triangle. I'll put those away. And I have some sequins. The Mango Tango. Ooh, you know what I also almost forgot is the BFFs tag or tab or whatever it is that we have here. That could go right there. And I'm going to put it on foam, I think. Nope, the foam is too wide. So I'm going to cut the foam in half. And do it that way. And these are Mrs. Brimble's stickers, and they used to, they were at one time sold in the Dottie About Flair shop, and some were special designed to go with some of the earlier collections, and they're not there now, but I still have some left over. So I'm gonna do that right there. They were BFFs. They were also brother and sister, and you'd never know it. Sugar Bear was like a Russian blue, but calico, a calico Russian blue. When I say Russian blue, the gray was blue. Her gray fur was blue. And the texture was kind of thick and you know, short but thick, like a Russian blue. And Freddie was pure bright orange Persian, just really long, fluffy tail and long hair, and he needed combing and brushing and grooming and all kinds of things. So he was a high maintenance little dude. Where am I going to put the ampersand? Maybe right there, or kind of right there, sort of hidden a little bit under that flag and tucked in behind the flare. Whoops. Again, a little more glue than I needed, but it'll dry. Okay, so now I'm going to put some sequins in, and I think the key for me to using these papers is to group a very high contrast cluster kind of in the middle of the page altogether, and not do any other papers or any other you know, anything else around the outside of the page. No strips of paper or anything like that. Just what I think, how I think I will use them. And I know some of you have agreed with me that these look a little bit daunting to use. And I know a lot of you probably like them a lot better than I initially did, but still weren't quite sure how to use them. So hopefully this will help. I know it has helped me, and I hope it hasn't hurt Adam's feelings for me to talk about how creepy I thought they were at first. It's just a style that for me is just so different from anything else. You know, I mean, I have done some mixed media that was kind of over the top, but I think I started out with something in mind. I did it around a theme or a photo or a particular type of texture that I was trying to accomplish. And it's kind of like trying to use somebody else's mixed media. Although, you know, I've used Vicky Bouton's mixed media, and very happily so. So I don't know what it is about these. I guess when it's just, oops, that kind of looks like those three things are in a line. So let me just move it a little off that line. There. Okay, and I think just those two sprinklings of sequins, and then we have these two jewels that are not in there. So I think I'm happy with it, and I'm going to tell you what I think I'm going to do with those other photos. I think I'm going to create on the back of this, I'm going to create an envelope or something to slide those photos down into. I don't want all there, it's kind of a thick batch of photos. I don't want them all to go in there, but I'll probably select the ones that I'm not, I'll probably narrow it down to the ones that I'm not going to scrap. I have a couple of, there are a couple pictures of Fred underneath the Christmas tree, and then there's one of him climbing up on the sink, and you know, it gives me the creeps to see him that close to James's toothbrush, and so, you know, just things like that. So once I get them all scrapped, and now I'll probably do a few pages that are driven by the photos, but I may use my scrap backwards kit for them, but not go backwards like I did with this page. Anyway, I hope this was helpful to learn a little bit about the backwards process if you didn't know it, or to see how to use papers or embellishments or supplies that may not be just right smack dab in your comfort zone. So I love this page. I absolutely love it. And I will, you know very well that I didn't necessarily love all the things that are on this page. But look at the branding strip. That's that's the bottom of this. I guess it came from this side. Yeah. And I actually like that. I think I'm going to keep it and use it. I just said no strips, but maybe I'll find a place to use that on another page of this paper. So thank you for watching. Bye.